Hi there guys, welcome back, and before I get into this video I want to show you what I got in the mail today. And this is a bit confusing because I will probably be posting this video on a later day, but what I got today is this Asaruco all the way from Italy, from Monkey Lockpicks. I entered his challenge and his competition, and I actually came second, but very kindly, Lock Noob actually said I could have it and that he had enough locks, which was very kind of him. So I want to say a huge thank you to both Monkey Lockpicks and Lock Noob. So thank you both, and let me just adjust my lighting settings and I'll get on with the rest of this video. Well, hopefully that is a little bit better than before. But what we have today is this lock here that I got from Potti, and this is an Abus dimple lock. Now I've been actually trying very hard to find out what model number this is, and a lot of you have suggested the EC750, I think, but the thing is that that lock actually has two rows of pins. I think the second row is a row of passive pins for key control. This lock only has, or the key rather, only has one row of pins, and I think it's more likely the Abus D6. I am still waiting on a reply from Potti to see if he actually knows what it is, but if you do know, I'd love to hear what you think. The key actually says Extra Classe on it. Now, as always with these parcels, I always say that a lock is going to be very difficult to pick, and it turns out that it's the very first lock that I pick, and that's usually because I am so keen to open it and so determined to open it. If we look at the keyway on this lock, it is just crazy, and my southward picks failed to work in this lock. But very surprisingly, the picks I did eventually find were these clom picks, which actually surprisingly work very well in this lock. So at least they're useful for something. And I have two picks here from different pick sets, or supposedly the same picks, but they are slightly different. So I'll be using those, and also I do have a southward half diamond. I'm not sure if I will need it, but if we do, then it's there. And there's our key bitting. Pretty nice. We're going to have to avoid that fifth pin. Avoid that we don't overset it. Or make sure that we don't overset it, rather. Right. Okay, so I'm going to use this wire tension wrench, and I'm just going to have a go at picking it, and just concentrating here on actually picking the lock, and not too worried about what it's going to look like on camera. This may take a while. Alright, so I'm just going in and setting all the more obvious pins. Have a peek in here. I'm going to reset there because I believe I may actually have overset the fifth pin already. This is the shorter of the two hooks, or flags I should say. Okay, we got a little click there and a tiny little turn on the core. Let's see if we can maybe get a full falset, or an open, even better. You have to watch in this lock when using a longer hook, because they've designed this ledge. I don't know if you can see that too clearly, but they've designed this ledge right here, and this ledge is actually angled, so it's so difficult not to get your pick caught in that ledge, and because it's got an angle on it, it actually draws your pick into it, and it's a really effective way to defeat picking. So just zoom out a little bit. and see if we can finish this lock off, or finish off picking it rather. I'm using quite heavy tension here. And I've got my finger right on the end of the tension wrench, so we're getting full tension. Well, I'm going to go in with my half diamond now and just wiggle these front pins. I don't know if that's going to work. Because the half diamond is actually thinner, it's sometimes easier to feel pins that aren't quite set. And by jiggling it back and forth in there, you can usually set some of the pins that just need nudged a little bit. Like this every time you pick it. It's you make quite fast progress at the start, and you get false sets, but it's just that last bit. I'm going to lessen the tension and move my finger up just so that I can feel the tension a little bit more direct. Okay, we got a slightly deeper false set there, and we're open. Whoa, okay. Well, I'm glad to have caught that on camera. It's a pity that at this time I don't actually know what model number it is. But never mind. I'm now going to lock this up to try and take the clip off. It's quite a sturdy clip. I'm surprised it didn't break my my clip removal tool. Also, what's interesting here is that we have this hollow bit right there. I'm actually not sure what that's for. Maybe a drill protection rod or something, I don't know. Okay, a little bit stiff on the key turning, but most likely key pins that are just a bit too long that's causing that. Whoops, and we've lost our first pin. Where are we? We're here. And there we go. Alright, so as I thought, some of these pins are actually sticking up a little bit further. Okay, so there we can see the fifth pin there. It does need to be lifted just a tiny bit, but usually we can lift it enough by just sticking the pick in and brushing it. Interesting to see also that we have a combination of these black plugs here. I'm not sure what those are. Alright, so let's dump these pins out. Very interesting pins here. I'll show you these afterwards. So what we have down here are actually some pins that remind me of the steel pin in a multi-lock. They look like those baseball bat style pins. Very nice, and I believe those also help stop bumping. They're kind of mushroomy because it's a tapered kind of angle that's on them. Now this one's quite interesting. We actually have a sort of serration at the top. I'm not sure what you call that. just a little lip to help get caught. And I believe that there is another one, whoops, another one of those baseball bat pins. Now let's have a look at the top pins. Pin 1 is a very long spool pin. We'll take that spring out of there. Pin 2 is a standard pin, very long pins. 3 is another one of those long spools. 4 is it's almost like a double-ended T-pin. We'll look at that in a second. 5 is another one of those double-ended T-pin things. And 6 is a standard. Empty out the springs. And I'm just looking here, you can see that we do seem to have a bit of rubbing around the outside there. I'm just looking at that to see if the key pins there that are just a touch too long, whoa, blurry, come on. I'm just checking to see if the key pins there that are a bit too long are having an effect on the lock body. So let's look at what we have. So on the bottom there, like I showed you earlier, we have those interesting baseball pins, as well as these pins with a slightly thinner bit on top. Then we've got these really long spool pins to give us incredible falsets along the top, and where's one of these T-style pins? Whoops. Let's see if we can focus on that, and you can see that it's almost like a double-ended T-pin. It's thinner right on the tip. I'm not sure T-pin is the right name for it actually, but just got this camera. Whoa, it's blurred. Right, so that's what we've got. A very nice Abus dimple lock, and quite a difficult pick, especially with that really restrictive core. Let's have a look at what's going on here. We have a tiny little hole there, but that's about it. And that really restrictive keyway. Well, overall, a very nice lock from Potti, and like I say, it's always the ones that you think you'll be picking last that you actually end up picking first, because you're so determined to open it. If you do know what model number this is, the lock this is, as I said, it's actually got extra Class A on the key, and these interesting pins, and like I said, I think the only idea that I have now is the D6, D10, I've forgotten already, I'm sorry. But if you do know for sure, then please do let me know, I'd love to know. And if Potti gets back to me with a straight answer, then I'll be able to title this video with the correct model number. Anyway, thank you very much indeed, Potti, for sending this lock to me. It sure is a really interesting lock, and I haven't picked a standard stock Abus Eurocylinder before, let alone a dimple one. So a huge thank you, Potti, for that, and thank you very much to everybody else for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you in my next video.